Good. Okay. All right. Okay. What's going on, everyone? Good evening, good night to you all. I mean, how's everyone doing? I'll go live in a. Well, I already live, but I'll start the talking in a few minutes. Get things situated. Talk to you about the book called Another that I've been reading and everything. So I'll talk to you guys about it in a bit. But I'll give you guys a few minutes. Get you on up in here and everything. All right, I'll just give a few minutes. Okay. All right, give you guys a few more minutes. See if anything else gonna pop by. Say what's up. Oh, what's up, Stitch? What is up? How you been, man? I'll get to talking in a bit. I'm talking about this. I'll talk about this novel I've been reading. Oh, and also, before I get to talking about that, uh, um, this. Oh, here we go. This right here. This is the manga, and this manga. This is pretty thick. I never realized this manga would be this thick. Holy crap. This is really thick. I gotta remember with a manga, you gotta read from right to left with this. So I gotta remember. Yeah, this is the manga adaptation of the book. I already had looked at the anime of this, but I didn't want to go ahead and look at the I wanted to look at the manga of it as well, kind of, see what's different. I don't know this stuff. Cool. Because that's an album. Oh, playing Star Wars Atlas. What anime you been looking at, Stitch? Anime I've been looking at right now, or just looking at little clips of it right now. It's just been My Hero and pretty much this. But those pretty much been the anime I've been looking at. But also, I'm waiting for Bleach to come back on. I want to look at that. Yeah, I really want to look at Bleach. I want them to finish up the 1,000-Year Blood War. Oh, solo camping for 2 and Kaiju number 8. Oh, Solo camping for 2 Kaiju. Oh, wow. Pretty cool. All right. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the book I've been reading. But yeah, well, I'll talk about this first. Yeah, this is just the manga adaptation of this. I'm still gonna look at it, and I said this is pretty thick. Yeah, it's pretty thick. Got this off Amazon, and there's like a few copies of this. God, boy, I remember this front. This is the front. Gotta remember. But anyways, they only have like a few copies of this book left, so I'm guessing people been looking at this and wow. And I heard it's pretty good. The anime of it was pretty good as well. I want to go to other Bleach. Yeah. Yeah, the Bleach anime is pretty good. But Stitch, I've been kind of skipping some of them filler episodes, though. I know some of them didn't really interest me that much, but other than that, yeah. Pretty much go through all the Bleach, man. It's pretty good. All right, let me go ahead and put this up. And also for this one, I guess this is kind of like the sequel. I already started on it. It's just the intro. I guess it talks about like what happens, after the events of the novel and everything, with the girl talking to the boy and everything about, her little adventure. But as I said, I've been reading the intro of this so far, but I'm gonna start reading this pretty much throughout this week. All right, let me go ahead and get started. All right, I'll go ahead and get started talking about the actual book. Yeah, this is the novel right here. If you pretty much all I can tell. This is the novel. I don't, man, this this been pretty good so far. Like, man, this is really good. And there's also like another sequel. It's called Another 2001. I'm still gonna get that, but right now I'm just gonna look at the other little novel, and I want to look at the manga as well. So yeah, this book here, I've been reading the crap out of this. Like this been pretty good. Like, man, I think like this is pretty much like the first horror novel I kind of read like this. But other books I didn't read like when I was younger, like back in middle school, high school, shoot, even elementary school. Like I read, but it was mainly just for assignments. Like back in middle school, like junior high, I done read some books, but like I said them just for assignments. And when I was in high school, took like pre-AP, AP courses. I done read some books, for those classes, and them books were just, like I said, it was just for an assignment. Yeah, it was just on assignments, what I had to read. But other than that though, this book really, really good. I've been hearing good things about this book anyway. Like looked at the reviews off Amazon, and just looked it up as well. But even though with me looking this book up, I kind of spoiled myself just a little bit, but I don't want to spoil myself too much because I wanted to read and just find out like what's like really been going on, what led up to what. But like, anyways, like when I've been reading, it started with the boy named Koichi. He's up in the hospital for his collapsed lungs, and once he get out the hospital, he transferred to some school, like some middle school, and he's a transfer student. And he ends up meeting up with this girl by the name Mai Mizaki. Yeah, Mai Mizaki, and like people don't. Let me go ahead and put this down. People don't be really talking to that girl like that, and like made me think like, why ain't nobody really talking to her? It kind of made him want that, so he went up to actually talk to her, and that was kind of got people like all freaked out. Like, okay, something's obviously going on here. So he went to talk to her, and she's saying like he shouldn't be talking to her, and the tragedies or something's to start up. With people start dying, and that's pretty much kind of how things kind of got started. He's been talking to talking to the girl. People treating her like she doesn't exist, but like, he thinking like maybe like she's a ghost. And as I was reading, like it seemed like she, like this girl a ghost or something. But I'll get to that in a bit though. But going on like more, he talks to her, and then death started occurring. Like this one girl, she had fallen down the stairs and got impaled by an umbrella and everything. Like, ugh. I seen that in the anime too. Like, it was brutal. And then like, it was a nurse. Like when he was in the hospital, like he'll talk to about horrors and whatnot, and he talked to her about certain stuff that was going on, and she ended up dying. She ended up dying up in the elevator. That's it. These deaths I've been seeing up in the anime. They talked about it in the novel. Talk about in the anime, the deaths. Seeing them animated, pretty brutal. Yeah, she died in the elevator. Elevator just, I guess like the string of it had snapped and whatnot, and the elevator just came crashing down. Ended up, killing her. And there's been some other deaths. Like, I'm trying to remember. It was another death. I can't remember. But other than that, like when these deaths started occurring, like the kids in the classroom, they end up started treating him like he doesn't exist. So now it's Koichi and Mai, they're two non-existers. So treating them as both of them don't exist. And it was hoping that will work, but I'll get to that in a minute. But like with them being like a non-existent, they've been going to this secondary library up in this building, talking to this librarian, about this what's been going on, and apparently he's up in a cursed class, class 3. Yeah, that's the cursed class he's been up in, and you know, ever since then, that's when like he starting to see like all these deaths occur, and the librarian been talking to him about like what started it. He's been keeping notes and everything. Oh, and by the way, I meant to also let me go back a little bit. Like the girl May, she ain't no ghost. So other than that, yeah, she ain't no ghost. So, but anywho, the librarian's been talking to them, about like this kid by the name of Mizaki, not May Mizaki, but it's another Mizaki that had died and was up in class 3, and that's pretty much like where the this phenomenon or curse that's been starting up and everything, and yeah, that's pretty much like what's been starting it. And let's see what else. Let's see what else if I can remember what I read. Yeah, I ain't gonna go over too much, but let's see. Yeah, librarian talking to him, and then after that, after they had their talk with the librarian, pretty much, like the kids and everything, they stopped, treating them like, before they stopped treating them like, the non-existers. When they was in class, the teacher came into the classroom and, well, man, the teacher ended up pulling out a knife from his bag and just pretty much axed himself. Yeah. So after pretty much, the teacher, taking himself out, and that's when they pretty much stopped treating them, both of them like non-existers, because having two non-existers, it didn't work. It didn't work. And the reason they were doing that, because apparently, like, if one of them, like, was, like, an extra, and being an extra, that's like, someone from the dead coming back, and just pretty much not supposed to be there, which causes, people to die. Kind of like, in a way, like, people have been saying this is kind of like Final Destination in a way. But from what I've been looking at, it kind of does seem like it in a way. Like, someone or some supernatural being coming back from the dead and causing all these deaths to happen. So, in a way, it's kind of Final Destination is in a way. So yeah, pretty much after they stopped treating both of them like they're not existing. They pretty much talking with them, and then they started finding out like how to stop what's going on. They end up going to this. I guess they end up going to the school, and then they end up finding a tape of the person that was up in the same class they were, but like in a in the 80s. I mean, this takes place in the 90s, like 1998, but like up in the 80s, someone was in a class 3, and then they ended up recording this tape to show like how to stop it. But like with him like the person that was up in there unintentionally, they ended up stopping what was going on, because like back in their time that they had this person as an extra as well, and then the person ended up recording itself on the tape and hiding it up in a closet with some packing tape on the ceiling. And they end up playing it, and then saying how to stop the extra. They end up he ended up killing the extra, killing the person by accident, but didn't realize it was an extra. But like once the person talked to other kids about him, they didn't know. They didn't know who he's talking about. So that must mean he was that person he killed was the extra. So other than that, let's see. Pretty much with that, they go on this class trip somewhere, and then pretty much afterwards, like they go to this place, trying to stop, go and try to stop it. Go to this shrine and pray or whatever, but apparently that wasn't going to work. But like, because it was, I think this time the weather was supposed to be bad or something. But like, other than that, it didn't work. So other than that, stuff started happening at that the place they went to. Like, uh, the kids there were getting murdered by this crazy person that was there, and then fire started, and pretty much at the end, uh, like with everything going on, like at the end of it all, like the boys, the boy's aunt, that was also a teacher, like an assistant teacher. She was also, I mean, she was all this time. She was the extra, and and the girl May, she was gonna end up, killing her for like, I guess Koichi wouldn't find out, but he ended up finding out that his aunt, slash, the homeroom assistant homeroom teacher was the editor, and then he ended up having to kill her. And I mean, that's pretty much it. And then it pretty much stopped the what was going on. That's pretty much it. But overall, when I was reading this, like, man, this is really good. It really good. I mean, it was so good. I ended up getting a sequel. Yeah, I ended up getting like the little sequel. Uh, yeah, ended up picking this up. So I guess like I think that's pretty much an in between, like what happened, like pretty much after the events of you know the previous novel, but like um I wouldn't consider it like a true sequel. The true sequel is another 2001. I'm still gonna get that, by the way, but I don't read this. This pretty much just talks about the girl and her adventures. So I don't read this. But yeah, other than that, book was really good, and there's gonna be more horrors I read, man. As I'm continue writing these horrors that I've been doing, I'm gonna keep reading more horrors. Oh, and I'm talking. Oh, let me see. I've been talking. Let me see this. Okay, see what you're saying, Stitch. Have you heard of Vampire Hunter D? There are novels of that. You know what? I think I heard of Vampire Hunter D before. That sounds familiar, Stitch. It really does. That sounds very familiar. And there's novels for that too. I'll check them out. I'll check it out. But Vampire Hunter D sounds so familiar to me. That sounds familiar. But okay. What was I gonna say? Oh, pretty much. Me getting pretty much getting into these horrors. I think it has to do with my mom, because my mom, like when she was alive, like she would look at horrors, mainly stuff by Stephen King. She'll watch the movies like The Stand, Langoliers. I think she also looked at It, or was that my grandmother? But I think my mom looked at It as well, because I remember watching that. Didn't see all of it at that time, but you know, yeah, I didn't see all of it at that time. I did look at the reboot of It though. I looked at that, but the original It, I didn't see all of that. But I think my mom watched that. She also watched the Tommy Knockers. I mean, my mom, she loves Stephen King, and I think my liking of horror is coming from her. So I'm my mother's son. So yeah, I'm my mother's son. Anyway, yeah, I really do like horror, man. There's been horrors I looked at before, besides the ones I listed, that I watched with my mom. Let's see. I know back then when I was a kid, I used to look at them Goosebumps books, but those Goosebumps books did not really scare me like that. It really didn't. Yeah, Goosebumps didn't really scare me. Huh. My dad liked horror. My mom's against all that stuff. And my mom's against all that. what, what kind of horrors your dad looked at, Stitch? but, man. All right. Let's see. Oh crap! What was I? Oh yeah. Back when I say elementary school, I read the Goosebumps book. I said them Goosebumps books did not scare me. They did not scare me. And it was some other horrors I used to look at. I can't remember. I guess it's pretty much the ones my mom looked at, and I looked at them with her. Especially like looking at the Langoliers. That I like that. Let's see. What other horrors I looked at? I think there was actually hold on. There was this anime I looked at way back when I was in I think high school. It was called Monster. I looked at that. I think that was kind of horrorish as well. I can't remember what it was about. But I looked at that. That was a pretty good anime. I like that. Universe. Brown Stroke. Okay, Dracula, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. My mom looked at those Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. That's right. That's another one too. Yeah, I don't think I looked at all of them with her, but I know I've seen her watch those before too. Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah. My mom looked at those too. Okay. But yeah, the anime Monster I had looked at. I can't remember what it was about. Dang, I cannot remember. That I think that was kind of horror-ish in some way, a thriller, but it had some moments up in there. Let's see. I don't know. Another anime I looked at that was, I guess that could count as a horror is Death Note, but Death Note didn't really scare me. It was a cool anime, but Death Note didn't really scare me. Yeah, Death Note didn't really scare me all that much. I mean, it didn't really scare me at all. Let's see. Those are the only two I can think of right now, but yeah, I did enjoy looking at Death Note. All right, yeah. But anywho, let's see. What else? I mean, that's pretty much it. What I really wanted to discuss. I kind of rattling on it kind of bit, but that's all good. There's a lot of horror that I don't think is too scary. I think horror games are scarier than film. You know what? Yeah, some horror games are kind of scarier. Yeah, some of them are than films. Man, what else? But also, some films, with some horrors, I found some of them kind of funny though. I can't think of them though, but some of them were kind of funny. Bush can be pretty creepy too. I like Clive Barker a lot. He created Hellraiser. Oh wow, I didn't know that. I heard of Hellraiser. So Clive Barker created. Oh, okay. Wow, that's pretty cool. Anywho, let's see. Um, Pretty much overall with the book, another good book. Really, really good book. Like I said, I'm gonna look at that novel by May. I mean, well, hold on a second. Phone going off. I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and close this off. Anyways, the book was pretty good. I enjoyed it, and also this me reading all these horrors. This is really inspirational to me. I like reading all these because I said it helps me write. I love writing these horrors, and also this week, I'm trying to have a poem out this week. It's I got a title for it. It's the title of it is called Dark Rain, and that's the title for now. I've been thinking about it like pretty much when I was at work today. I was thinking about it, how it's gonna be, but the title is definitely gonna be called Dark Rain. So I'm gonna try to have it out this week though. I am. But anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and close this on out, and I'll talk to you guys again later on. Oh crap, I forgot what I was gonna say. But anyways, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go live again when I get done reading the other novel and the manga adaptation. So I'm gonna go live again and talk about those as well. So anyways, catch you guys later and be safe. Have a good week. Enjoy yourself. All right, I'm about. All right, you have a good week too, Stitch. Catch you later, man.